So this is the Capital Improvements Plan Committee. I will call the meeting to order because you all will need to go through the process of nominating chair and vice chair. And then once you do that, I'll give a brief overview. So with that, I will have you all discuss or nominate a chair, please.
Usually what I do is ask for volunteers.
I was gonna say, not me.
It can be any of us, right?
Any of you.
Any of us.
We could even volunteer Mr. Slater since he's not here.
I don't know how we feel
So
about
no,
that.
so
Well-
Kevin is the school
Well,
board
Kevin.
rep.
I am here, so no. Anyone want it? Let's put it that way.
I'll make a motion, we nominate Kevin.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Will you accept it?
Sure. I'll be figuring out as I go, for the record.
Oh,
That's okay.
we all will
Okay.
We're patient.
Thank God.
be. So who made the motion?
I made the motion, and Deb seconded.
Do you want to call the vote?
All in favor?
Aye.
You can vote for yourself.
You can, all right,
Make it unanimous.
aye. Why not?
So I'll help you. So you're
So now
chair.
I need to start, so I'm looking for a motion for a vice chair.
I'll move, Mr. Chair, that we nominate Sarah for vice chair.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
And we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I won't vote for myself.
So
You abstain?
I abstain.
Your duty to make sure the chair is always there.
So,
Yes, that's key.
sounds like a
Okay.
plan. All right, so Flora, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you to both of you too, so.
Thank you.
And if you really want, you can rearrange your seating so you're official, or if you want to stay where you are, that's fine. Typically, the chair and vice chair in the middle.
With what's on the docket, let's just crank through,
All right.
and then we can start next time.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right, so second or third up, review of the 2027 to 2032 process meeting and dates.
Yep. So I skipped over introductions of you all. I know you all know each other, but since we're recorded, if you don't mind just backing up a little bit and introducing yourselves for me.
Kevin Gray from the school board.
Sarah Meyer from the Budget Committee.
Lynn Wiles from the planning board.
Arthur Rugg from the planning board.
Deb Paul from the town council.
Thank you. All right, so just as a reminder, this, again, is the CIP committee. This is a committee that provides review and information and ultimately the capital improvement plan to the planning board, the town council, and the school board, and the budget committee. And the intention is to utilize this plan. It's an advisory document for long-range financial planning for the town, so that obviously includes the school. So this is governed through state statute as well as our town charter. And you've all gone over who you're representing in terms of school board, budget, planning board, and council. So I think I've covered most of those items. We're required to meet at least 6 times per our town charter, so I have provided some proposed meeting dates for you. To stay within that. I did send this out in an email as well.
Yes.
Again, this is to keep us on track to meet within the required time frame prior to budget season, so that this, again, advisory document can be finalized and ready essentially for review prior to budget season.
And I responded to your emails. Tuesday's hard for me, but I can make
Okay.
it. But if it's possible, if everybody agrees, 6:30 would be better or easier. Monday, Tuesdays are my like worst work days. And I just didn't know if everybody was admirable to 6:30 instead of 6 o'clock. It just makes it a little easier to get out of the house or office.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put it out. It's just
It's-
6
yeah.
o'clock is just difficult.
Yeah, Monday, July 28th, and Monday, August 11th, I won't be here. Vacation time.
And July 28th, I won't be here either.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think those are good, but do we want to talk about the 28th then, if we're already down two, maybe, are you just not good for just that day, or that whole week bad for you as well?
The whole week for
Whole
me.
week, okay, and you're the whole week as well for
Yeah.
yourself?
So we could
Um,
move it out in a week, right?
Let's see, 14, that's 14 days, 28. So either direction probably works about the same. Is either week better for anyone, going either back a week or forward a week?
So the forward week would be what, September?
Put us into
I don't have a calendar.
July 28th, so the forward would be,
That would be, yeah, the first Monday in September is Labor Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't want them too close together because you gotta get information and stuff like that.
right,
So you gotta give people, presenters time.
Give staff sufficient time.
Yeah, so,
They're the ones that do all the work.
right, so, I mean, I'm just being mindful of that.
yep, absolutely.
Do we have an end date that we need to be working toward?
So, typically, we target the hearings at the planning board for the first meeting in September, which would be September 3rd.
Would be the first hearing, public hearing
Correct,
for the CIP?
correct.
Third.
Yeah, that's what we try. I know last year we're behind schedule.
Correct.
But I mean, traditionally it's been, September is when the planning boards had the workshop on it, and then
Yep.
in October, the second meeting, second Wednesday
So I
of the
mean,
month.
So, Mr. Chair, if I
Public
could,
hearing.
if I could hazard a suggestion, why don't, it sounds like we would have a quorum on the 28th. And as we get closer to the 20th, we may have some flexibility for moving it around once we see where we're at.
Okay,
Just kind of leave it where it's at right now.
I'm okay with that.
that seems fair.
so the only change is to push it to 6:30?
Yeah.
Can I just put out the school district, we have a off-site meeting on Monday, the 11th, so I don't know if we would be needed to present anything.
We can, if it's okay with you, Mr. Chair, we can just accommodate your schedule so that you're presenting when you're available.
Yeah.
Because I just got your submissions, so we can schedule you, I would assume whenever,
Seems
if
fair.
that's okay with the board.
That work for you? Yes, yeah. Everyone here?
All right, so I'll keep these dates. We'll push it to 6:30, and then as we meet, we can adjust the July meeting date as needed, like you suggested.
Sure. I think that works.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we definitely have a quorum for that day, then we'll keep it, and, you know, something changes that we can shift around. We got two meetings before that to always, you know, move things if need be.
Sounds good.
So it seems fair.
Yeah, meeting by meeting, we can see where we are at and
Yeah,
make
absolutely.
adjustments and,
I like it.
A couple other notes that I skipped over, just in terms of project submissions, so, the planning department sent out the request to all departments as well as the school, requesting that they submit everything or their projects by June 30th, so a week from today, is the deadline for those submissions, as I just mentioned. I received the school projects earlier this morning, so I will work with you, Mr. Chair, on scheduling that on the appropriate agenda, upcoming agenda.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. I do anticipate a couple of municipal projects, but I have not formally received them yet. So we will have plenty to review at this committee, it seems. And that's all I have for now.
So, one thing we've always talked about at the planning board, we've talked about the last few years, is the scoring system that the school uses. Is there any discussion about changing that to make it more aligned with what their projects are, as opposed to, emergency or safety issues that we have for the municipal side?
So my recollection is we made a very minor change a couple of years ago to try and meet, or just try and accommodate that, I guess.
It was a
I'm
change of
not-
a few words.
Yeah,
It
we just
was-
changed a couple of minor words, I believe. That being said, I am not opposed to reviewing the criteria and generally this process overall. I'm just not certain that in real time, as we're reviewing, is the most appropriate time to do that.
Yeah, I would agree with
But,
that, but
That's something that I want to do for next year. So I think that if we have times where we can discuss that criteria just for future,
Mhm.
as we look to revise that criteria, I think that would be helpful, just to point out what works, what doesn't.
okay, so I don't think some of them work for the schools,
Yeah, it's,
issues of safety, I mean, yeah, you have safety in schools, but
Yeah.
priorities, that's the number one priority, but the school has other number one priorities as well,
Right.
so, as an example.
Yeah, and I think as we go along, I think if we see something, we could always make a recommended change for next year.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely, and that would be really helpful, because like I say, I would like to review the criteria and just generally the process overall. There is a better way to do this, I'm sure. But for the time being, this is the approach
think-
we have.
I think what would help is if the school gave a clear definition of what they view safety as, and so you have a little key thing, so that when you're looking at it, when you're with the school, you know what their definition is of safety, or the terminology could be just in a key thing, and just explain it a little bit better.
I think, to your point, I think that's kind of what we had talked about a couple of years ago
Yeah,
too.
I
Was like
think
not
that it
necessarily
never
changing the
got-
categories, but clarifying what it means in terms of the school
Yeah,
nomenclature.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, it might be a good idea to get that codified somewhere, but like so that going forward.
Yeah,
everyone
so
has
everybody's
that.
on the same page when they're looking at a word.
Yeah, that makes sense, yep.
Yeah.
Like it. Cool. Was that, anything else? That was it?
That's all I have for you, unless you have other questions of me. Or anybody in the audience, we do have.
Oh, public comment.
Yeah, if anyone has anything to say.
So we're gonna have, agendas and minutes like we would any other meeting?
Correct, thank you. We
Notice.
will have our recording secretary doing minutes, so you don't have to do minutes, Lynn.
Good.
Yes.
I was gonna make a
Oh, I was gonna
nomination.
volunteer.
Oh, yeah. How soon would we be getting the agendas and the information prior to the meeting? Is it gonna be a week like they're doing in the council, or is it gonna be
So,
closer to the date?
I will defer to the board, but I would think a week at least in advance.
Yeah, I'd like to get them out.
would be
a week in
ideal.
advance.
A week is good, at least before a weekend before the meeting, so we have time to digest everything and
Yep.
at least have the
So-
knowledge so we sound somewhat halfway intelligent.
So the Monday prior to the Monday's meeting?
Would be the target,
Yes.
yeah, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
It
And
really
this-
shouldn't be an issue with this process because, like I say, the project submission deadline is a week from today, so I should have everything for you in a format that's ready to send. In terms of the agendas, it's just a matter of scheduling with the departments and their availability. But in terms of the materials, I should, in theory, have everything by next week for the process. So.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking for us and the public to be able to take the time to read it, formulate questions, come back with, just to get that flowing. And anything we can address in advance would be good.
Yeah, and so the point about having the public be able to view and access it. I would be, and my intention is to upload the materials on the website as well. We have that ability to attach things direct to the agendas now. So that would be my intent if that's what the committee wants to do.
I think that works well, by the way.
Sure. All I have.
Does anyone else have anything they want to bring
This will be the shortest meeting that we have.
up? By far, by far.
Motion to adjourn.
We got a
Second.
motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved.